since mowed them all down.
Increasing the budget for the national parks, man. These trees are going freaking crazy. This Team EnVy now has to find a way to stand up to that from Team Dignitas, or they are going to find themselves 2-0'd here. Dignitas, of course, really liking the sound of that prospect, looking to get that done for themselves now. But Team EnVy on blue side means they're going to have more ban flexibility. In this game, Dignitas likely going to be needing to answer the unholy trinity of Camille, LeBlanc, Rengar from the red side. Ryze and Varus banned away first from EnVy. Dignitas starting off with LeBlanc and Jace, so not the big three.
We're going to have one given over here, probably. Either the Rengar or Camille. That would definitely change the flavor of the game. I'd like to see some split pushing, you know, some carries for the top lane. Everybody wants to see Someday on carries. Everybody wants to see Seraph on carries to try and see who can win that split push war, because both of them do pride themselves in that. And yes, the Kha'Zix is going to come up, so that's either Camille or Rengar final ban. Or actually, excuse me, Dignitas are not going to ban either of those so that they can trade one back, because you don't want to ban out one of them and then be left with nothing.
Yeah, you ban one away, then you're putting yourself in a really bad corner because you're just giving away free presents and you don't get anything in return. Feels real bad, man. But Dignitas now have to choose what they do want to ban away, and the answer is going to be Malzahar, keeping that support away from Hakuo.
All right, so no surprise there. They instantly jump on the Camille. So much of these teams is about their top laners and the way that they do shape the teams. Camille up here, we have seen a variety of champions that some top laners have prepared ready for Camille. Poppy is one, you know, can deny a lot of the jumps. Actually, most of the things that Camille tries to do. But you can also, you know, try and take... I want to see a carry-to-carry match. I want to see Someday take the Poppy role and just be a Camille blocker and try and hold off Seraph from doing things in the team fights later. But regardless, when you give over the Camille, as you said, they're not going to ban out the Rengar. They do trade that one. Plus, because Team EnVy banned the Varus, they also get another super high priority pick in the Jhin here. So they get the lethality 80 carry, the other one that is left up. And that is going to mean that while Ashe can early on have a good laning phase versus Jhin, once those lethality items start to come through and Ashe is still building up crit multipliers, it takes a lot longer for Ashe to have the same impact in the mid game that Jhin will have.
Right. Once the Jhin has a Yumu's Ghostblade and an Edge of Night and he's running around doing all this damage, Ashe will have an Essence Reaver and part of a Hurricane and be like, now you hold on, I'm going to be done with this soon, and then we're going to be even. But Ninja on the side of EnVy going ahead and picking up that Graves for Lyra. Going to be answering the Rengar with that in the jungle, a high damage threat versus a high damage threat, as Dignitas decides they're going to go ahead and pick up the Zyra support before it has a chance to be banned out in the second part of the Pixie phase.
Yes, sir. Not going to look to answer the top role at all. So I would expect Team EnVy to try and whittle down on that top role, ban out some of the answers we've already seen to Camille. But it's very interesting that Team Dignitas have said, okay, someday you are the player of the team, you're the one we're building around, and we are going to have full confidence that you are hiding this pick, and you're going to take your top lane matchup into the #1 top laner, which is Camille, and you're going to take an extra round of bans. They're expecting
faith.
Yeah, that is definitely some faith. Jax has been used in Korea, and that one's not going to be available. So they're banning out the carry options, which is the ones I wanted to see.
That's what I wanted to see, too. I want to see
carry.
Seraph and Someday have this epic clash to decide who ultimately wins this series, and this might be the time we actually get to do it. I always get so curious when you see champions like Camille and Rengar that have like a 97% ban rate or something ridiculous. I always start wondering, I wonder what the games with them in them actually look like. And now we get to see. We get to answer that question.
Yes, sir. So will it be the Poppy that they're going to decide to go with into it? Or does Someday have another carry prepared? Well, Swain is an option as well. You can try and use your range for bullying up there. The rest of the team comps are filling out pretty nicely, though. We again see the Nami here. We're also seeing a lot of times the Nami is opted into that matchup for the sustain because can help you get through that super punishing Zyra laning phase. But what we're all really wondering is what is Someday going to use into this Camille after Jax and Fiora are both banned as well.
That's Someday pick B. Lod grabbing the Corki for Keen in the mid lane, as Victor will be the mid laner on the side of EnVy. What is the answer for someday, and it looks like it's going to be the tank option again, going for the Shen, throw down the Spirit's Refuge when Camille wants to beat on you in her ultimate, and just sort of annoy her.
Basically, you are going with the I will make plays elsewhere path. Try and take your, bullying a bit in lane. It's not too bad. Shen is actually one of the ones that's a lot better at holding on to that because that Spirit Refuge you talk about, but also being able to CS fairly safely. And then get out of there, make some plays with Rengar. You jump on the back of Rengar and you're instantly into the back line. So that'll be what they're looking for the side of Team Dignitas. Meanwhile, Team Envy, they got all their money in the Seraph Camille basket here. Apollo will be firing off Ash arrows to try and get things started. So there is some guaranteed engage for these guys as well. And maybe we'll see some more proactive uses of those tools.
And Camille can also be an engager in her own right. Hextech Ultimatum, that person is stuck in there, usually until they're dead because she kills them pretty quick.
Yeah, it does knock away any teammates that are currently next to you. They'll have to come back. And that's usually enough time for Camille to actually kill her target, actually.
Yeah. I'm honestly impressed with myself for remembering the name of her ultimate, considering I never actually get to see her in any games. I was hoping that I would manage to do that by the time that I finally got a Camille game, and today I did it. Dream achieved. But now Envy's got to achieve the dream of actually translating the pick into a win. That's the thing. You can pick it. That's great. Everybody's fantastic. You've still got to blow up the enemy Nexus, and they do have to go through an equally banned away pick in that Rengar to do it.
Chaser's Rengar. Let's see how he does start out. Because last game, he did not have that healthy amount of respect for the level 6 mid lane burst. Got caught out by Ninja and did give over some early gold. Didn't end up costing the team too much, but definitely something they'd like to improve on. Rengar probably won't be doing too much around mid lane till he's post level 6. And looks for some ultimate kills.
Camille has such a strange running animation.
I mean, if
so...
your feet are blades, your running animation's gonna be strange.
I don't know,
slack, man.
I don't know. It's a really, really strange, she's so over dramatic with it,
I want to see Captain Flowers on stilts and see how normal you look.
You're gonna see a guy walking about 2 inches and falling over on the ground. That's all you're gonna see. Someday and Seraph not going to be finding each other up here, both just having a good time spamming back and forth short walking animations in the brushes. Keystone Masteries at the bottom part of your screen. Fervor versus Grasp there on the top side. Warlords versus Deathfire Touch for the AD carries yet again. And 5 different Thunderlords in this match.
Woo, surprise.
Zap.
All right. This time around, Keen piloting the Corki in the mid lane as well. Into that Ninja Victor. He had quite a good game last game for themselves, coming up with that big play when they needed it. See if he can get the early pressure on Ninja, and try and force him into a poor back time. And one of the best things to do when pressuring Victor, try and make sure that he's not able to get to that sweet Hex Core purchase, and see if you can dish out enough punishment to make him go back early.
Yeah, making it so he can't get the second part of that laser. Really, really big. The Rengar start is going to be similar to what we saw from the Kazakhs last time around that you were talking about. You now start the chickens, you clear all those out, you get the extra bonus experience. Nice for early on.
Meanwhile, Lear didn't get the notice on that, and he started the red one first, so it's not terrible. He just loses out a little bit of the extra bonus experience from the level difference. It's not a huge deal, but most, especially of the pro junglers, are doing the opposite order that Lear just did. Chickens first, then red.
Then walking on over to the Wolves. Lear doing just that. They're going to end up on opposite sides of the map this time around. Let's see if they can make any sort of interesting plays or decisions based off of that one, as Seraph just taking control very quickly here in the top side.
Yep, Camille going to push him in here on the Shen, but Seraph still feels just fine. Right in front of his turret. This is actually the perfect space. Just going to CS. Doesn't have to worry about the jungle ganks. Even if Graves is heading up there, he hasn't taken harassment, so they're not going to dive him. And that's really what you want from your Shen. Good job. Just CSing up there. Farm your way up to 6. Meanwhile, Chaser, even though he's super low health and it is risky to go for that Scuttle Crab, he's got the confidence to do it. I don't think they got any vision on Lear, and he's just extrapolated. Oh, they did have the ward on the Raptor camp. That's why he has that confidence. Plus, they did see that he started down there. Still a little bit risky. I'm always nervous going for that skull.
There's always some kind of a risk to it if you're at 200 HP and you're walking into neutral territory.
Because you're like, okay, we had some vision on him, and I'm banking on the fact that he's still not there because Raptors are cleared. But there's that off small chance that he looped back around.
5% chance that you get first blooded at 3 minutes is still a kind of high chance when you put it in context.
Meanwhile,
He's happy. It didn't happen. That's all that matters. He's got some long swords under his belt. Going to be working towards, I'm sure, plenty of lethality himself this game.
yes, sir. Rengar, plenty of options as far as the build path goes. You can go Cleaver, you can go plenty of lethality now. The world is your oyster when you get to pick Rengar.
Sarah fighting back against Someday. The shield, of course, blocking the magic damage from Someday because the Camille shield blocks whatever type of damage the champion does most of, and built into Shen's kit through that Spirit Blade is a lot of % HP magic damage.
Yep, it's nice when you do have mixed types of damages as well. Meanwhile, Lyra on the Graves as well, just continuing to clear out, and got to go back for his long swords.
Waiting for chicken camp number 2, just hanging around.
See, if you had done that first, buddy, it'd be up now.
Chickens would already be there. What are you waiting on?
Come on,
Lyra.
gotta optimize your timing here.
All right, there we go. The chickens are back, and as soon as they show up, they're gone. Rough life for some of the Raptors. Taking a look at the CS across the board, everything's pretty close. Most pronounced difference actually between Apollo's Ashe and Lod's Jhin there in the bottom lane. Ashe Nami doing a good job being powerful early on in the lane like you were talking about earlier. Jin's going to come into his own more as we get a little bit of ways in around that first item point once he can have the lethality and sort of just outpower spike the Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing why Ashe was valued above Jhin before the lethality buffs because of this laning phase and the bullying. Not to mention the arrow, but a lot of it is about this early start down here. And once the lethality changes came in, that's the thing that really pushed Jhin over the edge and caused him to rise up back above her because he hits level 6. He's got so much of this early power, and we say mid game. That's pretty early mid game, just hitting level 6 for the Jhin. But around that time, he also has at least a serrated Dirk, depending on how well he's doing. And you can get a lot of control. Meanwhile, Hawkshot going over here to scout. They do have a ward on Chaser, and he's going to get an end of the line in the head.
Lyra taking some burst. Chaser taking some burst. Lyra still on the hunt, though. Going to be forcing Chaser to flash away from that one. Lyra doing a good job in that fight, and Chaser is sent home to lick his wounds at the Gromp, but I think that Frog's a little bit too tough.
The Gromp is a one heavy licker here. Giant Tongue gonna chase it back out, but it's actually not that bad for Team Dignitas because both teleports were used and canceled there, I believe. So Chaser, even though he was in a bad spot, he was like sitting on a ward, one of the worst spots for a jungler. He was able to jump onto the Graves to get his way out there and only had to burn his flash. So not the worst thing in the world there for Team Dignitas, even though the vision advantage was in Team EnVy's favor. And we continue to farm it out.
Long swords and potions, still just the only things in the inventory right now for Apollo and Lod. Neither one has really gotten a chance to go back and do anything with their itemization just yet. As I say that, Apollo gets his chance to go back to base, pick up the BF sword. Going to be a lot of extra damage coming out onto him now that he's got that, thankfully. Dignitas with a very, very, very slight gold lead working with for the time being. Sheen, first item on Camille in the top lane. I don't actually know what is the usual build path on Camille because I've never seen it.
Getting Sheen as early as possible does wonders for your DPS because one of the best things about Camille is that, I mean, there are a lot of them, so you gotta count a lot of things, but
quite a few.
One of the best things is that her precision protocol, the Q for Camille, we'll see it activate second here. When her legs start to glow white like that, it means her next activation or her next attack will do true damage, and it actually also converts your Sheen proc or your Trinity Force proc into true damage as well. So
that's dirty.
It's a tremendous amount of damage, and that's where a lot of the DPS does come from. So nice to get that early. Not to mention, it's always cool to have extra cooldown reduction on her as well.
So good first item coming out from her. Bomby Cinder on Someday, going to give him a little bit of extra control and push power over that wave, as well as building towards that Sunfire Cape that you like to build against those serious attack damage threats.
And since in that little bottom lane jungle confrontation, both top laners did at least start teleports. Someday did get to cancel his. It looks like Seraph actually full channeled his and then had to recall. That's why the timer's quite a lot longer. Means that Someday is going to have map-wide advantage here. You know, be able to try and turn something around. Since Someday is both pushing Camille in and has Stand United ready, Team Envy has to be a lot more cautious on the other side of the map there, because if Someday shows up and you start to chain kills with this early Jhin, then things can go the exact same way as last game, actually.
Keen's got the package. You can see that big golden glow on Arcade Corki. Means he's ready to make some kind of a delivery, but he's only got a very small amount of time remaining. He'll clear out the control ward from enemy territory and then likely just drop this on nothing, or he'll not use it at all.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have package, Rengar post 6, Shen post 6, and Jhin also with the ultimate available, you're itching to make a move around bottom lane, but Team Envy do play cautiously and they don't fall into it. Now they're also cautious about even walking into their own jungle, and rightfully so.
They know exactly how long-reaching this Dignitas composition is and what kind of tricks they can pull out. And being aware of those and never allowing them to get off the ground with that is pretty imperative, because a composition like that has so much potential for reach is one that can snowball very, very rapidly, and you're quickly finding yourself just stuck under turrets for the rest of the game, wondering where it all went wrong.
Yeah. And we do see a lot of motion down here in the bottom side of the map. They still want to get some of those ultimates off in this area, because if you get kills down there, you know, maybe you can chain into the turret, then you can chain into this Cloud Drake, and there's a lot to be gained for control of that area of the map. And look how dark the map is for Team Envy. They're trying to play defensively, but it makes it very difficult to scout out where Team Dignitas are coming from if they haven't been able to get even any vision into the river. Hakuo has been really pinned down in that bottom lane, so he hasn't been able to roam and get much wards done. Apollo, even with the hawk shots, actually.
Full-on 2v2 bottom lane. Curtain call going to be opened up. Chaser looking to work his way here into the fight. Now he's stunned up, cleanses that CC, runs himself away. A lot of abilities blown, a lot of flash and fireworks and fanfare for a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, the double flashes of the Envy bottom lane now will be on cooldown. However, couple of ultimates used. We'll still see. Someday has the ability to move around, as we said. Now Seraph can actually answer him because it's been so long and the teleport has come back up. But yeah, you can tell they want to force it so bad down bottom lane, but Envy knew this, trying to play defensively, and Apollo is just barely able to flash out of that Zyra engage.
And I'm really a bit concerned for Envy, because what you were talking about with their points of vision being a problem. Hakuo is not able to rotate around. They're not able to get the wards where they need to get them. This is the same thing that ended up costing them those Infernal Drakes last game that you pointed out. You said Dignitas has been setting up for this for 50 seconds, and all of a sudden Envy just strolls in like they own the place, and Lyra gets popped.
Yeah, and it's another symptom of that, you know, teamwork, right? Jungle and supports are supposed to work together in this vision battle. And not even just jungle and supports. It takes your mid lane pushing up. You need to buy time for your bottom lane wave as well. So the coordination just hasn't really been there for them. Meanwhile, Team Dignitas, they've got Stunt roaming at the same time as Chaser taking the Scuttle Crab. There are 3 control wards down in that bottom area. He's even moving in to get the ward onto the red buff, so Brambleback might even be the site of some action here, as Envy, they've completely given up on that bottom side. You know what? We're going to make this push like Team Dignitas did in the last game to try and go for that first turret gold on the top side, and it's going to be a race. They are the ones with the first wave, so they're on the turret first. See how risky Someday wants to get.
They've also got that Sheen pushing top laner, but the Sheen pushing mid laner is the response from Dignitas. Envy will find this turret in first blood slightly faster than their opponents. The rotation ends up working out in their favor. They grab themselves a small gold lead that's now going to be answered down to about 600K. Envy still with that lead.
And when you make this trade, you want to keep up the pressure as the blue team, because
Someday now getting jumped on CC all over the place. Hex Tech ultimatum. Lyra firing in that collateral damage over the wall, dashes in for first blood.
And it looks like the rotations up here are going to be a little slow for Team Dignitas, but the reason you want to keep that pressure up as the blue team is that if you back off there, then yeah, you did get the first turret gold and they traded, but you also give up the dragon. So by keeping up that pressure, going for this dive, they get the kill plus another turret. And while Team Dignitas do have people down by this Drake, it costs them so much more than if they had given up early.
Truly does. 2,000 gold advantage for Team Envy. Dignitas grabbing the Drake. But we were talking so much last game about how the Infernal Drakes were so cool and everybody likes them, and this is kind of like the sad, not so cool Drake. The Cloud Drake, not generally with as much of a fan club as Infernal Drake has, but hey, at least he's something for Dignitas to pick up. Ocean's gonna be number 2, spawning at around the 19.5-minute mark. This Chaser trying to grab this blue buff, really wants to give it over to Keen, says hurry up and Valk over here before this thing kills me, and now he's going back to base.
All right, so pretty good, you know, early game gold lead again for Envy, but as you said, you always caution whenever they do get this. It has not lasted in the past. We'll see if they can keep it going though. Rotating everyone over to try and keep the outer turrets chaining for themselves. Mid lane is the next target.
Trinity Force power spikes up and running now on both Camille and Corki. That item, one of the best items out there in the game of League of Legends for giving you that single power spike if your champion can use all aspects of it well. We know both of these champions can use that very, very capably. So keep your eye on these two as the fights go on to see exactly what they're able to contribute to this. 124 to 110 CS, Camille winning in that respect as well. You'd expect her to, considering how often she is banned, how strong of a pick she is right now. Everywhere else on the map, farm staying pretty close, at least in the bottom lane. Mid lane's a slight lead for Corki, and Graves is farming up a storm over the Rengar. Yeah, and they've actually rotated Keen down to the bottom as well. He picked up a bunch, very big wave of minions that Seraph had just pushed into the turret, so helps him out a lot in those CS numbers. And the Rengar is ready to roll once again. I mean, we still haven't seen a successful combo of this Rengar Shen dive. See if Team Dignitas can pull one of those off. Package, I believe, is timing out pretty soon for Keen. Yeah, it's gone now. So they don't have the added impact of the package, but that Training Force you talked about is still doing decent work onto the turret. Whittling it down piece by piece. Dignitas trying to catch up in terms of those objectives. They're still 1-2 in terms of turrets, with the 1-0 advantage regarding the Drakes. 15.5 minutes into the game, only 1 kill so far. Another story of a very, very cautious game being played by both Dignitas and Envy. And you can understand where they're coming from, considering, like we said at the start of this, these teams are currently tied for last in the league. They're both 1-6, and getting a win here is the start up to that next rung of the ladder, at least not being down there at the bottom and working your way back towards the middle of the pack.
And the pack is on the move right now for Team Envy. They're moving through wards though, so Team Dignitas have been alerted to this mid lane focus. And while Lot is alone, he's being very safe at his turret. Knows that he has to give them a healthy amount of respect. Just CSing from very far away, and Team Envy just meddling around here in the jungle on top of wards.
Gonna be spotted out. Can't really do anything about it. Setting down some vision of their own just in case anything worth looking at happens anytime soon. Seraph back into the top side to answer the waves being shoved up now by Someday, who has a Ninja Tabby and Sunfire Cape now completed. The Sunfire Cape just being completed. So he's doing everything he can to really resist this Camille. Knows that if this character gets too far ahead, he's going to be in for a world of hurt. Both junglers also with those warrior enchantments done. And something about the Graves, kind of a new thing we're seeing lately when Graves is up against some nasty bursts like the Rengar. Steric's Gauge, second item.
Yeah, I'm not a very big fan of it, especially with so many other good items that you could be building early on Graves. And while I have been more okay with the Steric's Gauge recently, there was maybe 3 patches ago a nice buff to it where they reduced the cost and it's not quite as inefficient just with the base stats, but it still does have that. And you know, you are delaying things like either going with a Ghost Blade, huge flat damage build that's going to help out your Thunderlord proc and everything, or your Black Cleaver, which gives you a bunch of that cooldown reduction, and your Armor Shred. But it has been trending, and I'm okay with it.
All right, it's acceptable.
Just not ecstatic.
Dignitas, though, speaking of something to be excited about, they took the Rift Herald. He actually gets taken in a not Immortals game.
Woo woo! Turrets also being taken as the top and bottom are traded. Team Dignitas get one more for themselves, but Team EnVy are still moving up. And again, they're the ones with the tempo here. Let's see if Team Dignitas can actually punish anywhere on the map, because they have this Rengar, and you really want to have them punish some of these rotations. There's a lot of people moving around through the jungle here. You've got a Shen plus a Rengar, but just gonna offer some more time for Someday with his, even with a sword. I mean, the last one, it was a Thunder Stick.
The last one was a Thunder Stick. This time, at least he's got something a little bit better. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves, but let's not sugarcoat this. How hard is it to cut a rock with a sword? It's probably not much better than the Thunder Stick is.
Probably not. Unless you got a lightsaber or something, and not what Shen is going to be wielding here. So again, we just wait, trade some more minions. There's just shoving up opposite sides over and over. No opportunity really opening up here, as bottom side of the map vision, full EnVy. Top side of the map, full vision for Team Dignitas, and neither team taking any risks.
One thing I also want to go ahead and mention in regards to what you were saying earlier about utilizing this Rengar, punishing those rotations, he's the one who got the Rift Herald buff. He's the one who's going to have that extra damage potential if he can find one of those isolated targets using that, and it's going to make him that much scarier than he already is. Some defensive itemization coming out from Chaser right now, though. Giant's Belt and Cloth Armor, not really seeing that sort of one-shot build that is the Rengar standard in solo queue and other less competitive environments.
It doesn't seem to be that type of game, right? They're not going for a bunch of kills. We have one kill in 20 minutes here. It's not like Chaser's going to be popping his ultimate a bunch this game and singling out squishies and killing them. So he's going for more team fight durability. He's going into that more defensive build here. We might have a little confrontation over vision.
Arrow's not going to be finding anybody just yet. Deadly Flourish hits, but it doesn't have the snare. Apollo on the run. Chaser will make the move. Stand United is there, but it's not going to be finding anything just yet. Dignitas has to disengage this one. It doesn't work out the way they plan. Phosphorus Bomb and Gatling Gun off to the side as Keen tries to set up shop on the flank, but not going to be finding anything with that either. They just couldn't quite close that distance in time.
Disengage there from Team EnVy, but the Drake still alive and drawing them to some confrontation.
Still got something to fight over. Hakuo hanging around over the wall. He does not have his tidal wave available for this fight. Ocean Drake burning down pretty quickly. Chaser wants to get the smite. He's got it pretty easily. Now he's going to be breaking out. Big Stranglethorn. Apollo is done. And Seraph now into the back line, trying to get rid of these guys if he can. Ninja going deep after Lod, able to find the kill now as the laser almost takes down Chaser. A double kill for Ninja.
Oh, Someday!
Someday into the fight, he's able to find one. It's double kill for Keen too. Lyra on the run. Someday and Keen still looking for more. Sterix Gage keeping Lyra alive here. Hakuo getting himself away as well. 3 for 2. Dignitas grabs not only the Drake, but the fight after.
Whew, that was such a touch and go fight for them, as Lod had to kite for his life up into the tri-bush. Now they're trying to get the extra turret off of it, but Lyra still alive, getting healed up by Nami, is able to clear out a lot of the minions. So they'll have to be happy with just those extra kills, which is definitely good, evens up the gold, but you know, the Drake here, with the AD carries, neither of them having ultimates, the initiation coming from Stunt as he sacrifices himself with the Zyra there, but so much damage with Seraph and Ninja diving the back line. They almost were able to take down Keen and Lod, but they're so committed here. Someday goes in, taunt, then flash right onto Ninja to grab him as well, and really allowing for the turn here and cementing that victory for Team Dignitas.
And almost like clockwork, EnVy has the lead. We get to 20 minutes, things go bad. Now Seraph into a duel with Keen, getting himself away from that one, but the package disengage kept Keen alive and going there. Seraph so scary on this Camille. Tiamat for item number 2. Means he's still prioritizing some of that damage, some wave clear, some control. Corki not going for rapid fire cannon second. Hakuo now going to be eating some curtain call shots. Chaser into the fight. There's your Stand United. Big taunt onto 2 guys. Lyra having to run away. Can't quite do it. Ninja trying to cut off the rest of Dignitas. He will not successfully do it just yet. Apollo is down again. Seraph being routed now. The Hextech ultimatum is issued and canceled by the blast code. Chaser's grabbing the kill there. 4 for 0.
Someday back at it again. Landed about 3 taunts in that team fight, grabbing multiple members, and Team Dignitas Once again, you hit around that 20-minute mark, they start rolling over Team EnVy in the team fights. It'll be another Baron, eerily similar to last game.
Way, way, way too close to that game number 1 result.
I wanted to prep the Nami wave steal here, but it's not available, so
all right,
100% going to be the Team Dignitas Baron.
No way they can possibly lose this. Deadly Flourish comes out, Sunday taunting the Baron up just because he can, and Dignitas.
Take a look at this again. All right, they finally get to coordinate all those ultimates we've been talking about. Lod opens up with the Jhin, gets 3 bullets off before Nami interrupts him, and then Chaser Someday combine for a sweet backline initiation there. He lands it onto all 3 members. Then they're able to chase down Apollo as well. And look at this blast cone as well. Is going to be able to save Chaser from Seraph and get him out of the area. And then him and Keen are left back there, able to take him down. Gromp doesn't actually equalize either.
And we're already back into another fight. Dignitas is not willing to stop. Seraph in some trouble. Stunt grabbing the kill. Dignitas, they are not going to allow this momentum to go to waste even for a second, Kobe. They're pushing down the mid lane. Tier 1's going to be the target to tie up this turret count, and then the sky will be the limit as they continue utilizing this power.
Yep, Baron buff means that Shen finally gets to take out turrets, actually. With all the extra minions, he'll be pushing up to the bottom side, and Someday making his way there right now, while the rest of the team should keep pressure onto the mid lane. Staying United very quickly coming up as well. Maybe somebody gets a little risky in their tower defense. Not going to happen. EnVy just back off and they give them up. So bunch more gold over here for Team Dignitas.
And this advantage is ballooning the same way it did in game number 1. Everything was at such a standstill. Now Dignitas has found their chance. They realize how effective it is. And EnVy have got to find some sort of response for this because they can't afford to let the game go the same way that game number 1 did. They know what the result of game number 1 was.
But you know that point in the game you were talking about 20 minutes ago where Ashe is sitting on the Essence Reaver Hurricane?
Say, hey, slow down, you stop that?
And Jin's already far ahead. That is where we are at the moment. Baron buff's still on. They're pushing down another turret.
Tier 2 in the mid lane. Gonna be the markdown for Dignitas. They grab that. That's number 5. Now 5,500 gold, the tune of their lead. 8-3 in terms of kills, 25 minutes into this game. They got 1 tier 2 left standing on the side of Team EnVy, and Dignitas is looking to remedy that real quick. Rotating everybody up there, keeping Someday in the bottom part of the map with 2 different tools to make his way into the fight if he needs them, and the split push game continues.
Yep, almost all members of Team Dignitas currently have over 1,000 gold in their pockets as well. And now they do as Chaser just ticks over, so they are very rich men when they get to go back to base as well. So many turrets taken with that Baron buff after those 2 team fight victories. That will mean it gets even more scary as Leandres comes in for stunt. Currently stunt, undefeated as well.
Yup, 100% win rate so far. Looking to make that an even stronger statement at the end of this game. Leandres' Torment means for a support, he is going to be dealing loads of damage.
Package ready for Keen. And the options for playmaking are definitely plentiful here for Team Dignitas. All the outer turrets taken down, plenty of map to work with, vision controlled all the way throughout the map. Even the arena is controlled by Team Dignitas.
People are the Digna fans, man. The 89%, they know. They're cheering for Dignitas to be able to close this one out like they did the first time around. And with the gold lead they've got right now, it looks like a pretty promising proposition. Lod and Stunt going to be working towards this Ocean Drake for themselves. EnVy has not been able to acquire even a single one of these neutral objectives so far in game number 2. Dignitas making sure of that as they pick this one up. There will be 1 more Elemental Drake spawning if the game lasts that long. But we'll have to see if Dignitas need another 6 minutes to actually shut this one down.
All right, headed right down the mid lane, wasting no time. Team Dignitas looking to get inside EnVy's base. Wave clear is the name of the game here for Team EnVy. They have Graves, they have the Ashe Follies coming through, and Victor, so they should be able to defend decently. It's just that the gold lead has gotten a little bit scary.
Yeah, the gold lead's out of control.
The options for diving are also pretty good ones for Team Dignitas. Somebody's not even bothering splitting here. Grouping up with the squad to just try and run the same bulldozer through EnVy's base as they did last time.
Curtain call opens up, tidal wave fired out. The Nami pick doing work in that regard. Dignitas not able to successfully use that zoning tool the way they wanted to. Good eye on Hakuo, recognizing, hey, I need to stop this right now.
Yep. Once again, Laud gets off 3 bullets, but everyone was high health, so didn't really accomplish much. And that will be enough to dissuade Team Dignitas from their push on mid lane.
You know, the wave clear that you were talking about, the volleys and the lasers and all this different stuff on EnVy, we're probably going to need a second Baron for Team Dignitas to actually be able to break this defense, because right now they're sort of just ramming their heads into the wall. It's real hard to do.
Yeah, definitely could be the case. Baron 150, or 1 minute, 50 seconds away. And they still have so much vision control. I mean, Team EnVy are really cooped up inside their base. They've been able to get some wards down here leading up to the Baron, but Team Dignitas can easily sweep in and clear those out. Not to mention, they can keep Someday down on the bottom side of the map indefinitely here. He's got 2 levels up on Seraph. You know, no matter what champion you're working with, you're 2 levels up plus a tremendous amount of gold.
You're feeling good about it.
Feeling just fine, Shen.
All right, you're seeing the wards, though, coming out from the side of Team Dignitas. A couple in the bottom part of the map, more showing up around Baron. You want to get more control even than this as they work towards that. This needs to be a thing that they're 100% confident about, that it's not going to be some random EnVy ace counter steal. The whole game turns opposite upside down on its head. As long as they can prep properly for this, it should be a pretty solid take. Someday in the bottom part of the map, continuing that split push pressure.
Cutting rocks!
Cutting the rocks down with the sword. We talked about it earlier. It doesn't make any sense, but hey, Someday's doing it anyway. That's exactly just the kind of things that the man can do when he's in a spot. He can help the team find the victory. Titanic Hydra, Sunfire Cape, Spectre's Cal, and pieces of a Guardian Angel all up for him. The Spectre's Cal, really the only magic resistance he needs. Not bothering to turn that into the full-on Spirit Visage yet, because Victor's the only problem there. And he's not really too afraid of that. If Victor's blowing his entire combo on the Shen, then Keen and Laud are like, hey,
yeah, I like it. Go for your Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel is one of the highest impact, teamfight impact items just on purchase, because you get this super powerful passive that is going to pop for your next team fight, and it looks like we may be in store for only 1 more team fight. So if he's able to finish his GA, it'll be a huge amount. And here we go. He's chasing him down. Still has that lead on Seraph.
Seraph hitting him hard now. Seraph's shield has actually changed over to a physical damage shield, with the Titanic Hydra being completed on that Shen.
Just waiting out the Hawk shot here is Team Dignitas. And waiting for Someday to regain control of that minion wave. They probably want him to push it up a little bit more. They get a good snare, though. I would definitely expect them to also take the fight. You can just have Chaser and Someday diving in once again.
That combo's been so effective this game. They've been able to just get that Shen right on top of where they need to get him. Chaser feels that much more comfortable going in when he has the extra health to guarantee nothing bad's going to happen.
Here it comes.
And here it goes. Edge of Night, stand united all the way into the back line. Hakuo dead right at the start. Chaser having to flash away, but he's the return kill. EnVy is okay with this one, a 1-for-1.
Yeah, they're able to chase him off. So many ultimates used, but Victor still holds his. Very important for Team EnVy in their defense. He's the last one that has some sort of surprise burst in the package here that he could use. And very good for Team EnVy to hold that defense and get the 1-for-1 trade to try and hold on, because they're trying to hold on to their series right now, trying to hold on to not being pushed down to 10th place.
Bit of a replay for exactly how that fight went down. EnVy in a spot.
Kiting back as soon as they hear the rain guard.
Scary thing coming in.
Someday goes super close. Seraph got a lot of the damage, about 50% of the health, but there it is. Baron Ninja able to finish it up and get that 1-for-1 trade, which just resulted in that tiny bit of gold exchanging hands.
Rapid fire cannons also completed now for both Keen and Laud. Kind of shows that they're going for the ability to just find that extra little bit of damage whenever they can, because this situation is kind of stalled out so hard. Hey, if we can just get these pot shots onto the turrets from a little bit of extra safety, maybe that'll help.
For an offensive move here from EnVy, they grouped up behind the Raptor pit. Only problem for them is that targeting Rengar, he still has the CC immunity available on Empower W. We are on 7.2 still here at the LCS. And Chaser is able to get out.
Keen with package ready to deliver. Chaser having to go back and heal though, working his way back towards the rest of the team, seeing if they can find something with that package while it's still available from Keen. EnVy taking the opportunity with the enemy jungler gone to move towards the Baron pit, grab the Scuttle Crab, just try to maintain a little semblance of control over this area. As Keen clears out some of that vision that they're trying so hard to lay down. Baron up and alive. Infernal Drake also up and alive. Keen moving himself down to just take that sort of by himself. Doesn't really need any help taking it at this point in time. And that'll be a nice little damage bonus for the side of Dignitas so they can have that. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe that is what's going to give this team the edge and what they need to break through the enemy base and find their victory here. But that's 4 Elemental Drakes under Dignitas' belt. If this game lasts long enough for Elder Drake to be an option, it's going to be a very powerful True Danger play.
For Team Dignitas, though, they would not like to wait that long, and they're hoping that this someday split push on Shen. He's got 4 completed items now. He does have the complete GA in addition to that Spirit Visage, so he is extremely powerful at the moment. They keep him in the bottom side. They 4-man at this Baron, continually deny vision, use the Zyra to zone, and they should be able to force EnVy into a bad spot here, or slowly gain some ground on the bottom side. They're not going for that 4-1 play or with the Baron and the split pushing Shen though, as Corki is top, getting the top wave prepped, and Sunday's actually with the team looking to team fight rather than clearing minions. So Chaser might go in on this, and we are grouped up.
Chaser's looking to chase. He's got his Edge of Night, but they're just going to go ahead and back away from it. Dignitas, they're able to force EnVy back with that play, which now allows them to move in from where EnVy just moved out from, take control over the Baron area. And now EnVy's the ones who have to respond to this. They have to run into a Team Dignitas that is rapidly burning away Baron's health. Already got it down to almost dead, and it is secured. Dignitas find the objective. Now can they find the fight afterwards? Curtain Call opened up looking for Hakuo. 3 shots come out. The 4th one makes it there before the tidal wave interrupts it. Chaser's Edge of Night going to be popped by that laser from Ninja, and now the Baron minions are back in business.
Team Dignitas not over chasing there, even though they open up and get a little bit of a slow. Nobody rushing to try and capitalize. They don't need to really have any haste here. Just moving up with those minions. They can take their time. Baron buff empowered siege and crack through these inhibitor turrets.
He's going to be on the front line with that. The Trinity Force doing a lot of work into this top lane tier 3. Chaser still hanging around. Seraph tries to jump in and find a little bit of damage, but quickly takes a lot in return. Redemption going to be used now from Hakuo as the turret falls. EnVy is in retreat. Someday on the front line, but his damage is not going to be enough. Stunt getting himself killed by Lyra's ultimate. Dignitas has to retreat now, unable to find that inhibitor.
Yeah, Someday taunts through the Edge of Night of Lyra, takes a bunch of damage on the way out, as well as stunts, and then Stunt gets sniped by Lyra. Nice collateral damage there to find a kill and put a stop to that siege. Thought for sure this Baron-empowered siege was going to be able to grab an inhibitor for them, but good defense from EnVy. They're able to buy themselves some more time.
EnVy has been putting on a very good defense, a very coherent defensive effort entirely this whole way through. Here's exactly how that kill happened.
There it is. Somebody went in for that taunt, and Stunt took a lot of damage while he was moving up to follow. Lyra just answers. Boom.
Graves' ult does a lot of damage, turns out. Dignitas, though, they're back to 5 men strong. Looking to continue this push. They've got that exposed inhibitor in top lane. They've got tier 3s to still take down in the other 2 lanes. Someday back on split push duty in the bottom part of the map. The rest of Dignitas hanging around on the other side, waiting for their chance to continue this push and put the final nails in the coffin against Team EnVy if this defense can be broken.
Yeah, let's see. How much time do they have left on this Baron? Just a little bit less than half, so still can definitely make use of it. Pushing in all 3 lanes, moving up to minions. The inhibitor on top side still exposed, so that will be the target. They should be able to call Someday over. If they should literally just have Someday right now pushing up 1 more wave of minions with the Baron buff, and then just use your Stand United early. Just get in there, get the extra shield on someone, and brute force this inhibitor. This inhibitor should have no chance of standing, but Ash Arrow comes out for a counter initiation.
Ash Arrow going to be missing everybody. Good job by Dignitas dodging away from that when EnVy's still looking for some kind of a way to defend this. Inhibitor falls in the top side. Mid lane's gonna be the focus next. Baron enchantment placed onto those minions. Someday Chaser, all of Dignitas is here. Seraph trying to defend. Hawkwell gonna be eating some damage. Spirit's Refuge used to allow them to take this turret down cleanly. Now the Inhibitor's gotta be the target or a fight if Dignitas wants to go for that, if Envy steps up and tries to make that happen. The gravity field is placed, doesn't accomplish a whole lot, and Dignitas moves right back into position. Collateral damage gonna be putting enough marks in those health bars to scare Dig off for a moment. But Dignitas still gets what they came for. They grab 2 lanes of Inhibitors, Deadly Flourish, not going to be finding anyone on the way out. Dignitas backs as a group and gets ready to make the final push into bottom lane.
Yep, should be the final one. They've got 2 Guardian Angels, 2 Inhibitors down, and bottom lane's the only target left.
There's only one place left you can go, and that is exactly where Dignitas is bound. Elder Drake alive in 50 seconds. They don't want to be waiting on that. They've got a package to deliver. And the goal is Envy's doorstep.
Moving up that ladder, hoping to improve here. 2 victories, this would make it for the season, for this new revitalized Team Dignitas roster that was completely reworked here. Bringing in Someday, super high profile imports. And he's been good this game, landing quite a few taunts there on Shen.
2-1-5. 7 out of 9 kill participation overall. Doing a great job just being on that front line. Nearly full build at this point in time, 39 minutes into the game. Package about to expire on the Corki. Lyra hanging off to the side in case Dig makes some sort of crazy haphazard throw play.
Envy also kind of just have to pull the trigger. You have super minions floating in. Time is not your friend. You just need to pull something off. Hope for a crazy teamfight victory here, and there they go!
There it goes. Lod's gonna be jumped on. Seraph looking to make the moves. Hextech automation on the issue. Got him. Seraph has got his kill. Now Chaser looking to find the response if he can. Seraph trying to jump himself away. Keen's gonna be brought low. Collateral damage not finding the kill onto him, but Dignitas has lost the fight.
Seraph assassinates Laud on the backside, but all the minions didn't waste any time, and now they have to defend the Nexus while Team Dignitas can easily move over to the Elder Dragon.
Dignitas moving in for this neutral objective, unable to find what they were looking for there in the enemy base. Laud's not going to be getting this buff for himself, but the rest of Dig will have it for the next 2.5 minutes for that next push. This is such a problem when you have a couple of Inhibitors down in your base. Even when you win, it still feels like you lose.
All right, double Summoner's AD carry, but Seraph finds a really good flank into the back line. He activates his Titanic even through getting exhausted. He follows with his own flash and is able to take the kill, plus makes his escape. Meanwhile, on the bottom side here, Lyra was trying to get 2 kills at once there, shooting Keen in the face and then firing the collateral damage off that stunt, but wasn't able to get either one of them. Regardless, it was enough to shove them off of their goal at the moment. Now Team Dignitas will come back with 4 of those Elder Dragons, though.
That is a 225 damage burn, by the way. 45 per Drake plus the 45 base. That's going to sting a lot when these guys go in for the fight. Envy has got to be prepared for that. Hopefully they can find another pop onto somebody in the back line of Dignitas again, because they pretty much need it.
Yep, and I'm a big fan of just brute force, not wasting time. Even right as the minion wave comes up, move in with the minion wave. Just someday just stand united on top of someone on the front line, probably Chaser, and just run up to this turret and hand to hand.
Just hit it.
It's literally 2 shots.
They've got rapid fire cannons too. Keen and Lod can just take a shot at it and burn it down. One more auto should do it. They don't go for it. They don't
2
go
shot.
for
We
it.
said it was 2. They got 1 on it. Erica,
there it goes. Okay, it's a 3-shot, whatever. Someday gets it with the sword. That is the last standing turret not guarding the Nexus itself on the side of Envy. It has now been destroyed. Inhibitor number 3 under pressure. Dignitas continues looking for their win. Apollo going to be eating 1 burn call shot. Hakuo almost going to be picked off too, but it's Seraph into the back line. This time not going to be finding anyone just yet. He is down. Envy in retreat as Lyra and Apollo both going to be nearly killed. More rockets, more bullets, more problems coming their way. 2 dead on the side of Envy. It was a long way getting there, but Dignitas will find their win in game number 2 and take this series 2-0. The Digna fans are excited. Awesome performance from Team Dignitas there. They got to be happy about what happened. They were able to get their victory. They're not in that last place tie anymore. They're moving back up towards where they're hoping to be.
High fives all around for them. Some smiles there as, yep, 2-0. And only ever slightly behind even in both those games. EnVy did get early leads, but it was never more than a couple of kills or 1,000 or so gold. And they were always able to remain cool and take those mid-game team fights.
Keen cleared the whole game without a single death. 3-0 and 4 on that Corki. Constantly keeping himself safe, just providing the poke that he needed to provide to help the team take these victories. We saw what he was constantly able to do, moving around the map, hitting the turrets with those Trinity Force procs. Dignitas now start their long journey back towards where they're wanting to be in the standings. You can see him high-fiving everybody in the crowd, feeling good about making that win happen. But now for Team EnVy, though, the question remains, both of these teams were tied for last, and the implication of that is this should be the easiest opponent that you face. If EnVy can't beat the other last place team, what are they going to do?
You're now last place.
And you're now the last place team.
I got to finish that off. There you go.
Okay, yeah, we got it. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, EnVy is now last place, but where do they go from here? Everything
can't go down. At least not till the end of the season.
I guess they're going up. I guess they're going
Or stay where you are. There's only two options.
Or stay where you are. EnVy has definitely got some work to do. They've got to figure out how to remedy these problems, especially in that 20 to 25-minute zone where everything always seems to go wrong.
Yeah, definitely difficult. You know, the vision setting up for objectives, setting up for these team fights, the actual team fighting itself, even within the team fights, getting the coordination and the focus down. But for us, we are going to finish things up here over in the Battle Theater. And there is another game going on right now that people might be interested as well.
Just, you know, a little game, little contest between a couple of teams you might have heard of. Right now, we're going to go send everyone over to that one on NALCS 1 for the match of the week. Cloud9 versus FlyQuest.
Welcome over NALCS 2 as we start off our FlyQuest C9 game. Only 6:47 in, have not missed too much. Besides a nice gank top onto Impact. And now the pressure is being delivered from Alltech and Lemonation in the bot lane. A little critters giving Smoothie hell here. They can still get a little bit of sustain. But as soon as that wave starts to crash back at C9, much more damage is delivered by Fly.
Yep, that's the charm of the Jin Malzahar lane. Pre-6, if you land that Deadly Flourish, the Voidlings just beat someone to near death. And that's how Alltech and Lemonation have tried to keep Sneaky and Smoothie pushed in.
Good timing by Contracts, hovering the top side as Impact is in that same position he was for First Blood when he got ganked. He knows he can stay up here, seeing Contracts go through the jungle. Goes down the ultimate.
Uh-oh.
Ball shouldn't have too much trouble here. Tactical sweep missing as well. No follow-up. May have been Contracts coming up once the wave pushed in, but they weren't able to apply enough damage.
Yeah, and a pretty dangerous moment in time, actually. 4 balls is Poppy with Contracts being in the jungle, but FlyQuest looking to make a move elsewhere. Moon yet to be spotted.
Jensen's like, all right, there's a party mid lane.
Playing it easy.
Lemonation trying to cut him off. And a ward just below. Pretty much helping him out on the way up. Actually, no, never mind. That's Fly's ward, so I don't know what I'm talking about. So we'll see what Jensen can keep doing. Flash up, exhaust up, but we are seeing that Fly is trying to put pressure on him in the mid lane to relieve some for High.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's a release valve for High to be able to keep his farm up and hopefully get to the Hex Drinker and Serrated Dirk that he's trying to build up towards. Lemonation also has been doing his fair share of roaming. Gonna win the pink ward battle there. Voidlings OP. Get him! Too slow! Ah!
The lifeguard's worst nightmare, minions. Little ones in the pool. 1-0, 9 minutes up on this game. And forward wards being pushed in by Fly. Got some over by Blue. It looks like we're gonna have a little invade by Lemonation, and Moon's gonna come over and help him out.
Yeah, and this is a response. Moon saw that his blue buff got taken away by Contract, so he's predicting that Contract's blue buff is also going to be up. Like the move, I also like Moon's early Dark Seal here. I think it's an incredibly efficient item that Moon has been building early on almost all of his AP junglers, Nidalee and Evelynn. But they were mostly spotted out here, so Sneaky shouldn't get caught by this gank. If Lemonation gets 6, however, it is a lot of burst potential. He's about 80% of the way to level 6 here.
Flashes up. We'll be able to get that in. A little bit of a move from Jensen to get some vision down, but also slightly avoiding. I think that control ward did see him, and he's looking to just clear some out. Moon can't really do too much to him at this point. Phoenix Codex, Tome, stacking that tier.
Yeah, but look at the mid lane control Jensen has there. He pushes off the enemy jungle, gets a shot into the control ward, and then still makes it back in the lane for the minion wave. So he's not killing high, but he's definitely applying a lot of pressure.
72 to 66, pretty even top lane. Balls decides to go
Right
hard
back.
on this one as Impact came in with a few moves. Tactical sweep back. He gets the keeper's verdict, and it doesn't look like he's going to try to get out of this. Impact says, all right, let's fight. Throws down the ultimate. Balls tries to get the buckler out. Shield is up. There's the hit. The Q to the ground causes Impact to flash.
High's coming
and
over.
Here comes the rest of the cavalry.
Gotta land the shock blast.
Shock blast over to the right. This is going to be blind. Does he fire it far off? He just needs a little bit of vision, and a late ward does not allow him to find the target. Impact chooses correctly.
Whew, so that's the Poppy for you right there. Now, just 2 CS down to Impact, had gotten the help from the early gank, but plays that with the confidence to force Impact's flash backwards. Huge credit for Balls to sticking up in that lane.
Fly moving back, making sure the jungle's clear now, as they took a little bit of time to roam around in that. But staying proactive. These roams for high are giving Jensen quite a lead in the mid lane. Jensen's happy to have it. Backing up down to the bot lane, Altec 105 to 100, so quite even there as we've seen a few scuffles. Just not much come out of it as of yet. Moon so far, only that first blood top lane, and things have kind of quieted down.
And the tension definitely building in here. A lot of the ways people expect this matchup to go, especially when you're thinking preseason, is that C9's lanes would just be so much stronger than FlyQuest that they're just going to get a massive advantage from there and then be able to kind of fight over every objective. We're seeing a much lesser extent of that. So FlyQuest did get the first blood, but because of the farm advantages in the mid and the top lane, it is still an even gold game, but that creates a very contentious mid game because the gold is completely even and we're still yet to see major engagements.
And there's another phase of this game where both mid laners and callers on the team actually excel, and that's when you get to the fight phase. High's ability to macro the team around the map really has brought in victories to, at the time, Cloud9 and even this FlyQuest squad. So there's many more phases of this game to be opened up here as we see the early game slightly, actually, in favor of no one. Very back and forth on what they're trying to achieve. Top lane sees Moon heading for Impact here. His flash and teleporter down, so if they get him to go down, that's a long walk back to top.
Yeah, and this is actually setting up to be a counter gank right here because Contracts is going to walk straight through. Who will reveal first in this one? Can they get Impact to engage through a minion wave? Because that would be ideal. Moon doesn't want to reveal himself yet. If Contracts could catch him in a dive, that would be massive. I saw him with the plant.
Yep.
They're just going.
Going back, puts down the ultimatum. They can't get actually in range of the turret for the ultimatum. Collateral damage misses for Contracts. High says, I'm going to the skies for this one if he can get in range. Changes forms for a bit of that movement speed. And he's going to Shock Blast finish this off with a few more attacks. And they may have waited, but it did seem to pay off. A 2-for-1 to start. And an arrow back to the bot lane as they almost lose Smoothie in a cross-map engagement.
Yeah, it looks like with the red buff and the challenging smite, Balls just got ticked down, but that was still advantage FlyQuest because even though High is losing in the mid lane CS-wise, the roam up there made the dive safer. He saw exactly where Contracts was. He gave FlyQuest confidence to go in early, and he ultimately secured the 2-for-1.
Just quick armor, looking for the Sunfire Cape right away so he can stay on top of Impact in these fights. Those TP actually to mid lane for Balls to start cleaning that up. He just used it, and we'll see this once again.
Yeah, Poppy already stacking a bunch of armor, so Balls okay tanking his turret. Impact, though, able to just delay. And then here, Balls taking the damage from the red buff and the minions just finishing him off right there.
Hit him up.
Contracts had no way out after this one, so Moon just tries to farm the minion wave and lets High secure the kill. Right there.
At the same time, Bot was having a little back and forth. Ooh. Rangers damage onto Altec makes him think twice about fighting. Sneaky feels comfortable taking that lane over a bit in CS, so they have found themselves a bit of a lead.
Yeah, really great sidestep on the Deadly Flourish at the end of that too by Sneaky, so early Berserker's Greaves for that little bit of extra mobility paying off. sidestepping those deadly flourishes makes a huge difference in the Jin and Alcor matchup.
Edge of Night finished up for high here. After all the trouble he was getting in one lane, he still finds something outside the lane as Jensen has been pushing him in, bullies him for the last Raptor, gets his tendies, and he's out.
Yeah, so the bot lane and mid lane pressure kind of pushes through to allow Contracts to pick up the first Infernal Drink. And what was not expected when Impact gets Camille, the first turret of the game, has gone to FlyQuest, and Ball's in the top lane, so that will be the reason they have 1,000 gold lead.
Also pushing up second tier here on the top side, may draw C9 a little
wants to die.
thin. Good flash by Impact, actually dodges it out. Ultimatum goes down, but Balls can tank for quite some time. And they're gonna make it out alive on this one. They are just attacking the Camille.
Oh, and then they also heavily delay recalls on the bottom side, and just that, they are heavily punishing the Camille. So Pastry Time got to talk to Rupert afterwards, and Rupert is very happy with getting Camille.
Felt
but
good.
when you're looking at FlyQuest and they're throwing bans at Varus and Kha'Zix instead of the Camille and still not first picking it, that just means they have an answer. They have not necessarily had to show it yet because they've even banned Camille on blue side, and it's obviously a very risky thing to opt into, but early on here, Balls has been able to go straight toe-to-toe with Impact. Moon has been able to sneak up there and tilt the advantage in his favor over and over again, and now we have an 0-3 Impact on what many consider the most OP champion in the game right now, so real credit to Fly.
And what's kind of that effect now? What are his chances of still providing what the team needs under these circumstances for Impact?
And you actually think it's fairly low. Camille is one of those champions who, as a diver, needs to be able to go in with a relatively squishy build and just kill the other guy before he gets killed back. And when you're 0-3, that just becomes much, much harder to do.
Options falling off here for Cloud9. Jensen still doing very well in mid, so they can get behind him for what could be some of these counter engages, or a nice arrow to zero somebody out. With the Edge of Nights coming out, those chances may even get smaller. Just some ward clearing, pushing up the vision here. As Cloud9 knows they may have people coming in behind them with the placement of the wards from Fly. Double teleport composition, we haven't really seen it being used yet.
Yeah, definitely not. High, potentially taking that teleport just to keep the mid lane turret up in the early game, but now we're into that 1-3-1 usage of the double teleport, and it gets more effective when they have the split pusher of C9 in the hole so much like Impact, as the 0-3 yet to build up major items. So C9 pushing the two side waves, setting up shop mid, 1-3-1.
Interesting. Impact kind of just roaming around that mid lane. Oh, Lemonation found out. Oh, instantly dropped. We talked about somebody getting zeroed out from Jensen, and Lemonation finds out what that is all about. Looks like they will slow down though. Impact to clear top. That gotta feel good.
Scary Jensen right there. The unassisted kill in the river. Also had the QSS. Lemonation, you can see, had a channel of his ultimate right down there, so not sure if it cast right as he died. I believe that's what would have happened there as he ticks out for poison. Just Jensen being ahead in the pressure game and getting the pick on Elimination while he's trying to ward.
High being able to play a bit horizontal to the lane there as you see his wards inside the jungle. Pushes Jensen off until he gets another minion wave.
Balls just wins this 1v1 now with Sunfire Cape, Ninja Tabi, and the Sheen, so Impact's got to run
in
right
a pile of minions, still taking this fight. It doesn't even matter at this point. Contracts coming down towards the bot side. High might have find himself in a sticky situation.
It's pretty risky because Graves could be close, but it's whoever can pile in first.
Oh, hello.
Edge of Night's gonna help.
75% of his health coming out with 2 skills. Over the wall, High puts himself melee range into even more of a fight. And he may just come out alive from the burn. And he does.
And Riv High with the solo kill onto Jensen in the side wave. And that's huge for FlyQuest because he can now push up. There's 2 dead. Balls already has pressure on the other side. This could be either an inner turret, as there's no way C9 can defend everything at once, or the outer in the mid lane.
We wondered when it would happen. The Fly hung around in the bot lane for quite some time with enough vision. Solo kill onto Jensen, kill into Contracts to follow up, which means C9 is spread more thin to guard this. Let's see it again.
Yeah, High just hiding in the fog of war. Full damage shock blast while he had Edge of Night. Jensen exhaust late because he didn't expect the incoming burst due to vision. Then the rest of FlyQuest is there to support High as Contracts tries to go in for the save. Just a flurry of moves by FlyQuest to pull ahead.
Might have been down 30 CS in lane. But High can find those advantages somewhere else. Top side and now bot. He's given himself a bit. Edge of Night and now Youmuu's finished. Moon picking up red. Looks like they're trying to get some turrets down on the side of C9. They need a bit more map pressure because it's just going to be Fly being able to put so many deep wards in. They're going to have members coming around them.
And Riv, FlyQuest is in such a powerful position right now because normally you could say it's the all physical damage solo lanes, just stack armor, but C9 doesn't have the champions, aside from a Terek who is with Mercury Treads due to CC, that are capable of stacking armor. Sneaky caught out!
Well, if he has Merc Treads, let's go for the AD carry.
They're just gonna keep going, maybe.
Sneaky out, Smoothie getting hit. Impact has to come back. That may give Balls a chance to get a tag onto the wall, but they break enough distance, and FlyQuest using this advantage beautifully now. Last outer turret is down in the second tier, is not long for the Rift.
Yeah, the double Edge of Night as they're pushing the turret to ward off the counterattacks, landing the poke with a lethality onto the people who have yet to build armor since it is not in their build paths. Conveniently, the Infernal Drake spawns now as well. FlyQuest taking a ton of control.
And they almost can't fight back from the side of Cloud9 as much as Impact wanted this Camille in the top lane. I feel like FlyQuest said, that's what we want too, and then we're gonna focus it so it can do nothing.
This is such an early performance from FlyQuest in this best of 3 series because this is a Cloud9 team who, while they have dropped 3 games throughout the regular season, have yet to drop a series, but down 6,000 gold, 21 minutes in. Advantages in the top lane for FlyQuest into that Camille, and Moon on the Evelyn, which no one else is picking in the NALCS. 9 stacks on his Dark Seal and fully completed Gunblade. They're going to look to take over this map in the same way they got the first advantage.
And I feel like that's such a benefit when you speak about Moon. You have these guys that can pull out champions that a team doesn't, want to waste the band on. Is it a waste anymore? You take away his Evelyn? It might be, because then you get Kha'Zix, you get that Rengar if it's not on the ban list. So having those champions, especially with the way that Fly can flex, has done so much in Champion Select.
Yeah, absolutely. You think there's all these ways of attacking FlyQuest in the ban phase, and this one, they threw their second phase of bans at Balls with a Maokai and a Rumble. He's completely held his own against Impact's Camille, playing the matchup the way he needs to, getting pushed in early and then setting up the ganks, preventing the hook shots elsewhere. Now just trying to take control of the jungle and ultimately set up some Baron plays.
Yeah, Contract's trying to clean up top or at least protect it. At this point, haven't seen too many engages from him. And you won't see another one as he's engaged on. Jensen comes in. That should be Elimination going down again. Exhaust for Exhaust. A few more Twin Fangs to his backside, and he is out. Keeper's Verdict throws Tarek out of the fight, but they have already thrown down the ultimatum. And they also get Balls.
Yep, misfire there by FlyQuest. High actually hit Krug.
Ooh, the sweep.
With his Q, and Impact closing that distance, trying to push this advantage with 2 dead.
Good Edge of Night by Altec, keeping himself up. Possible protection here, but there's just too much power.
Moon is behind them right now, hoping to maybe pick them off with scattered recalls as High is looking to push the top side. He doesn't want to fight all 5 of them, but boy, will he try and take a pick if he sees someone by themselves,
Moon.
Like Sneak.
There he is. Moon just... Oh my God! Agony has embraced Sneaky. And Moon comes up huge with a flash attack. This completely has Cloud9 call the audible as they scatter to figure out what happened, and High can just sneak his way out.
That's the burst of the Gunblade build with Runic Echoes on Evelyn. Moon knowing exactly what he is capable of, hiding behind the entire C9 team, and then killing Sneaky before Sneaky can even react.
That's pretty sneaky.
Oh my goodness, that makes up for FlyQuest's mistake.
And he got it too. You're sitting there and you're like, somebody's got to peel off. I'm going to get, that's got to feel so good when it goes in your favor. You're just basically reading the other team and everything is going in your favor. We do have to remember that was off a bit of a fluke that FlyQuest just had where Moon was able to set that up. So Cloud9 still able to bite back a bit, but Moon biting back harder.
Alt for the percent damage. and then all of the buttons after that instantly kill Sneaky.
Says, catch me outside.
He got him.
8-4. We're coming up on 25 minutes here, and FlyQuest making a pretty big statement. As we said, they did just make an error, but I don't think that will slow them down at all from making a next move. The second tiers are gone, and now they can jockey for this Baron to work the other side of the map too.
Absolutely. They just need to make sure that they don't have any misfires. Cloud9 definitely capable of playing from behind. They just haven't been able to get the tempo lead on FlyQuest ever since the very, very early game. FlyQuest strike first with the first blood. They continue to make more of the plays. They're controlling the vision in this game very well, actually, even though they only have one upgraded sweeper. But they're constantly the ones catching C9, trying to catch up.
High again, yep, towards that bot lane. They're going to pull Impact over. He does have the Triforce finish, but Moon creeping in the wing. And we'll see if Impact actually tries to go for this fight, even to just push off High. You can see that Impact mentality of saying, okay, aggression, but these little things could really get them in trouble if they try for it. FlyQuest seems to be ready for everything. And Jensen backs in mid on safety of a control ward here to set up more defense.
I mean, Moon building towards a Lich Bane as well, so he's really just trying to keep that one-shot build from the shadows.
They almost got him on it. Impact want to go in.
Yeah, Moon saved his ultimate right there, but this is a lot of damage. A third of the turret right there already taken down, and High respect flashing away from the Camille hookshot.
Already used his Edge of Night. It's a little too scary. And here now, High playing the bot side. Moon isn't towards Baron, so obviously just kind of warding up for position. Falls could get himself into trouble here. Nobody's going to jump on him too fast. Teleport to the top side for High. They're going to try to make something work here.
Moon's around the side. He's going to try and flank everyone with an Evelyn ult if they can get it.
Agony's Embrace would stop them immediately when they get to that base gate. The team
walk
may
into
not be
Moon.
following enough. He just breaks the edge so he cannot be seen through that vision. So Moon is still actually openly walking in the mid lane here. No more knowledge to Cloud9.
Moon does have to watch out if he opens up onto Jensen, because Jensen has the QSS, which helps with the magic resistance, and also the ability to petrify Moon and return the kill, since Moon is going an incredibly squishy build.
Looks like they stop on that one. Nobody really liked their chances on the engage. That last hit, we saw High teleport up, but his flash is also blown, so those both summoners will be down for a while. He's probably going to have to stick with the team. Cloud9 loses maybe a little pressure on that split push for now, but C9 still cannot approach them in an uncontested Infernal. Over to Fly.
Yep, trying to maintain control of this game, but the plays have slowed down for FlyQuest for sure, showing a lot of respect for Cloud9. Still that 6,000 gold lead looms large. C9 is going to have to find something creative to be able to get back, whether that's Jensen creating another play by catching FlyQuest during warding, or if it's Sneaky catching someone out with that Ash Arrow, because while they do have Edge of Night, no QSSs, no cleanses, no Mikhails. Catch a squishy champion with the Ash Arrow, C9 should be able to pick up the kill.
As well, it's getting a little scarier as Impact continues to farm up. He's still going to be able to help zero somebody out or get that ultimate to prevent FlyQuest from helping a member with the ultimatum. Keeping them locked down. So we've yet to see really Impact do just that on this game. He's been farming away in the side lanes. Let's have his Tiamat in that Triforce. He's almost to his next core items. Iceborne now for balls as well, so it's going to be harder if Fly does get these engages for Cloud9 to even get away.
Yeah, I mean, Balls is at a point where he can still dual Impact quite easily, which is really hampering C9's abilities in this game, because ideally on the Camille, you're winning the 1v1s, you escape the 1v2s, and you can rotate faster to execute the squishies, but that's just not working. C9 going hard though.
Whoa,
on to High.
They said they wanted to try and get something here. High, and the end of the ultimatum is going to go down. Moon takes down Sneaky on the backside though, so Cloud9 scatters, and this is where Fly flourishes. Smoothie gets hit. That's the last hit as the curtain is called. Contracts is a focus, but Jensen could go down first, and that's the pressure they want away. Impact very low. One more hit from Balls, but it's not a follow-up damage. Blast Cone saves Jensen. He's able to fire over the wall. Now Altec, one last Fang, dies to the poison first. And what a scattered skirmish. 3 for 3 so far with just about.
They want more. He's going to keep going.
1,000 HP. Impact looking for the passive shield as it just comes up. Trades a beautiful amount of health and keeps himself alive. Woo!
We got ourselves a game, Riv. That fight was such a hard commit by Cloud9. Terragalt with Camille to get rid of the squishiness factor comes in at just the right time to kill high, but then watch the back line. Goodbye, Sneaky, because the rest of C9 decided to move their protection forward instead of in the back. And then it is all about the chase. And watch the C9 kiting. Jensen looked like he was dead to rights here, but he pops his Seraph's Embrace. He's landing his skill shots for the enhanced move speed. He's positioning himself on the right side of the blast cone so he gets knocked back from that. And this whole time, he's putting the right amount of damage through. And at the end of it, they actually come out of this as a 3-for-3 despite being down 6,000 gold at the start of the fight.
Whole lot of shock blast damage coming from high. But as we said, if there was a factor, Jensen controlling the mid lane, causing High to have to go to side lanes to get those 2 kills he has. Jensen's able to get that CS lead in lane item lead and now start to control it with kills as the right fight comes up for Cloud9. Still 53.5 to 43.4. Fly has the lead of turrets around the map, but that only means Cloud9 has some gold to work with if they're able to get the upper hand. Minion waves in favor, I'd say right now, of Fly before Cloud9 can really put some damage back on the turrets.
Yeah, and Sneaky being forced into an early GA on Ash, really diminishing any of his damage. They're going to be relying a lot on contracts and Jensen, actually, since they do have the marksman out of the jungle. Sneaky mainly going to be used for his utility and the CDR he's getting from the Essence Reaver on his Ash arrows.
Moon 7-0-2, 9 out of the 11 kills he has participated in, and they're going to try to burn it.
Yeah, they have the controller down, so the Hawkshot will reveal them, though. C9, though, is going to be pretty late to this. Ash arrow goes in.
Arrow in, a hit Altec on the backside. The team's not trying to get their contracts locked down by Nethergrass. That's going to be Moon's Baron, but the resulting fight has to be in favor of Fly for this to work. Terragalt stops any of the damage in the pit. C9 comes up big on that one. Now Camille, the impact follow onto Balls. FlyQuest going for the Baron while already having a bit of the lead. Have overextended themselves and given that to C9.
And these are actually really long death timers, Riv. 36 seconds on Moon, 30 on Altec still, and a cannon minion in the way. Boy, C9's gonna get a lot of objective out of this.
We've seen a lot of those calls from FlyQuest be the right one. But as we said, as they said, we're C9 as much as we aren't C9. And obviously Jensen knew they were making that call, 12 to 11. Cloud9 comes up with Inhibitor and smart calls to pressure the Baron.
A few more seconds and they may have been able to end there if they would have decided to go for it. But watching this again, very risky call by FlyQuest, and they burned so much preventing the steal, but a Taric ultimate in the Baron pit, oh my goodness. Moon lands his ultimate, but it does nothing into the invulnerability. FlyQuest can't fight back until it's too late. Impact had been able to jump over onto the FlyQuest people who really wanted to kill and then get some revenge, slowly whittling down Balls as Poppy and getting the double kill.
Well, Impact getting himself back in this game for being smushed in lane, doing the most damage in that team fight.
Yeah, he got unleashed on the back line. There was no one to really keep him in check, and if C9 is going to continue to be able to rely on Smoothie for that Taric ultimate and give Impact that free time to really just unleash his damage, not to mention Jensen, who has been stellar this entire game, aside from that one weird brush play where High caught him out in the side lanes. C9 on their way back here, closing that, what was 6,000 gold lead to 2,000, but FlyQuest is not one to wait around.
Curtain call, Sneaky gets hit.
Taric ult.
Should be all right. Whoa, Impact's in. Bastion and the Taric ult is on. They keep going to the back. Whoa, what a huge hit coming in on a Cloud9. Beautiful job by Moon. Balls is in there as well to try and stop them from getting back. Lemon Nation gets hit up by Impact as he's looking again for that back line. A kill, and it is distracting Fly to have to look over to him. Impact all the way into the fight, and the team can't respond. Moon's going to be next. Contract with the flash out, but that leaves him out to dry. Double kill coming in for Contract before he goes down valiantly, but it does leave the team. The re-engage, the counter Cassiopeia comp that C9 is trying to use does just that. One more Fang they put down High, and that's going to be the game.
It could, yeah, they're only 2,000 gold down, but they have supers in the mid lane already, Riv. What a comeback by C9 right there, clutching another team fight. And you're right, C9 is going to take this 1-0.
Absolutely. striking for C9 to come back, knowing they were down, knowing they had to pull the trigger. Game 1, only 34 minutes in. Lemon Nation getting out to do what he can. They got the minions to get the kill. They also have the time to get another one onto Lemon. And they're going to take their time taking down this Nexus. Both teams are going to take their break as Cloud9 comes up with a win in Game 1.
And with all the hype coming into this series, Riv, that game definitely delivered. You saw on the player cams there, High trying to shake this one off because it is rare you see a High-led team, and specifically FlyQuest this year, jump out to such a big lead, but then not be able to close. So huge credit to C9 for being able to fight back, team fight after team fight in that game, take down High, and take a 1-0 lead in the series.
6-1 and 8. Jensen, Flame Horizon in the mid lane on High by 20 CS. We did see him moving around. Fantastic. I should say by 80 CS after that. But
yeah, I mean, still
fantastic.
Huge CS lead the whole game, and really, FlyQuest never quite got onto Jensen. They were killing Sneaky a lot, but they were never able to get onto Jensen, and eventually Sneaky got that GA at the end of the game. I want to see the damage graph in that game as well, because I feel like it'll have a few surprises in there. Moon, with the 7-0 start, couldn't quite make it into those final team fights. The Taric came up so huge in their ability to actually clutch out those team fights and fully dive in at the end of the game.
It worked well, because you don't expect Taric to be that kind of, I'm denying this assassination. It takes a little, and then it pops. But with that, there weren't many quick assassinations unless Moon had one target. So those targets live, then High is already to the skies. He's meleeed in the fight. Moon's in there, Poppy's in there, and the back line is saying, wow, well, mid-game did not go how we wanted it.
Great first game.
We're going now to throw it over to the Freak and the Analyst to break down that comeback win for Cloud9.
Thank you very much. We are here to break down the awesomeness that just occurred. That was a pretty compelling game, absolutely. Azael, welcome here to the Analyst desk.
Hey, bud.
Of course, yeah. You guys are, of course, of comparable skills. So let's talk about the fact that it's an earlier joke. You won't get it.
It's an insult.
It's okay. Anyway, sorry. The team comp, though, was kind of interesting. In the draft, FlyQuest on the blue side gives away Camille. They want Jhin for it instead, and they have a plan.
And they actually had this plan earlier in the season when they played Echo Fox, the one series that they have lost so far. And Echo Fox flexed the Camille, so we didn't even get to see this plan come into effect. But here we see what it is. You have the Poppy and the Evelyn used to camp the Camille right away, and then in team fights you hopefully can lock it down or something like that. And I think it looked pretty good overall. I actually liked what they were doing. It would have been nicer if they could trade for a stronger OP pick, so the fact that they only got Jhin, I didn't really like. It would have been nice if they got the Varus or something like that. But
well, they banned out Varus,
Well,
right?
that's,
so
that's what I'm saying. Is like my only problem with it is that what you really get that was OP. It's just the Jhin, which is a little bit of a problem for me.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, of course, the top lane camp did pay off a bit, though. We have a couple of clips of all the effort Moon put on the top side. And to be fair, that did work out quite well. This is the first blood to start it out.
Yeah, I mean, it did work out really well. But one thing that Mark was talking about throughout the game is the fact that Camille has so much room to kind of come back in a game. Even though he gives up first blood, even though he was continuously getting killed, they were roaming top nonstop and taking him down, Impact was still able to have a big effect in the game. And it does speak a little bit to his play, but also to the strength of the champion.
Right, and I mean, Balls, to his credit, also played the 1v1 fairly well throughout the entire game. This dive, a little misplayed by C9 in my opinion. You really, they are getting pressured in two lanes, but you have to cover one of the two, and just farming the Krugs nearby is not good enough. And then they continually punish Impact once he's behind.
And Impact honestly didn't look super comfortable on the champion, so the ultimate actually gives you a little kind of window of vulnerability where you can actually immune abilities. So a very telegraphed ability like the Poppy stun against the wall, an experienced Camille player should be able to ultimate that and not only avoid the stun, but like avoid the
entire ability
too, right? So something like that makes a huge difference in dives like that. And Impact did look a bit uncomfortable, even avoiding the first blood. He probably should have flashed before he tried to use his E to fly out of there to make it more difficult for Balls to actually block that. Balls would have then had to really quickly flashed and heroic presence to stop it. So there's things that you can see. Impact's not fully comfortable with the champion, and obviously FlyQuest had a plan around this, but long run it didn't pay off.
And it wasn't just obviously Balls and Moon playing well. High as well made a lot of roams early. He made the first roam down to the bot side as well as the top side to get the kill, and then push down the first turret of the game. And so even though Jensen was winning laning phase, High was doing High things, just getting all over the map and impacting the rest of the game.
Yeah, and of course Jensen kind of stayed in lane. He got turret damage, he got a ton of farm, and ended up being one of the major carry forces, which leads us to our next replay, which is the fact that there have been a lot of interesting dynamic calls, but this was a bit of a flop by FlyQuest.
And big thing for me is that they had to blow so many resources denying the Baron steal attempt by contracts that they don't have enough left to fight. They used the Poppy ult and the Malzahar ult just on Graves alone, and then they're caught in the pit with no defensive things available.
And to me, a fight like this showcases so well the power of the offensive Taric ultimate, right? When you're using it reactively, oftentimes it doesn't actually land before that invulnerability comes out. But when you have a hyper carry like Cassiopeia, played by Jensen, who's very fed, you give him the immunity as he's going in aggressively, and he can go wild. People cannot return fire, and they're able to just devastate them in the Baron pit. And really, it was a super risky call.
Yeah, and imagine if you had a 3-man Poppy ult and Ball just kicks them all right back out. Like, that's cute. The Tarics made them invincible, but 5v2 good off our Baron turf, and this is kind of the tournament that we had. So you can see the damage numbers here, right? Plenty coming out from Moon. Of course, High doing a ton as well, but no surprise, the biggest damage source from C9 was Jensen himself on that Cassiopeia.
And I'd say overall, this game played out totally to the hype that we were giving to this series. We see a crazy draft come in from FlyQuest. They executed extremely well. They're doing crazy different things, but then we see C9 is an extremely stable team. They take them on the jaw and they keep coming. Even though they lost a number of fights, they continue to look aggressively. We saw Impact, despite being shut down, going in first with Camille, and like you said, the offensive Taric ult's keeping him alive so he can go as deep as he needs to. So both teams played up to what we expected them to do.
Yeah, they definitely did. And even though that it's easy to point at the Baron and be like, oh God, why did you do that? That's why you lost. FlyQuest does a lot of this stuff in their wins, and they're something like 11-3 match score. So it works for them a lot of the time. You can get bitten by the best teams when they have properly prepared for you. They're expecting it. They're reacting very quickly. They have good vision, things like this. So it's harder to get away with these risky plays against the best teams. Had that paid off there, that likely would have been kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, allowing them to snowball this game to a victory. It backfires. They lose off it. But that's kind of the risky game you play when you play FlyQuest style.
Yeah, I mean, these guys certainly happy to take risks. This one didn't pay off, but, flip the coin came up tails. Unlucky there. Want to move us forward to our player of the game. Jensen, no surprise, I think, for us, but did want to pull up the graphic and give him the props as he was, the player who was finally the carry in the fights, and he got some very massive multi-man ultis and just, highest damage of the team. I think it's kind of apparent why it's him.
Right, he had the most control in any of the lanes early on. He obviously had the CS lead over High, and then in the team fights, there were a number of times where he kited out and barely stayed alive over the course of the fight and stopped it from being a total whitewash on the side of FlyQuest.
Yeah, especially when so many of the fights started with Sneaky dying instantly. Moon.
Oh, Moon was brutal that game.
So much of the damage requirement is from him, and it was kind of hilarious seeing Sneaky build the GA third, which I think was actually pretty smart given how things were going. Ma was not going to save him. He was getting overkilled by so much. So, a lot of the onus was on Jensen to be able to get the damage done and to carry the team fights, and he was equal to the task. Looked great.
Yeah, and you can see why having mixed damage, we talked about it earlier on the analyst test, mixed damage is really important so that the armor stacking one can still get out of the mid laner. Auto mention to Smoothie, the ultis were good, but obviously Jensen was a bit more important. So now we're going to see if FlyQuest can even up the score against Cloud9 when we return. So don't go anywhere. Bye, Ju.